Well, hello everyone. It's your girl Taya, and it's Tuesday, so I'm back. All right, y'all. This is one of them days where my voice isn't the greatest. If this is your first time tuning in, okay. If this is your first time tuning in, shame on you. But my name is Taya, the curator. I am your host for Taya's Tuesday Thoughts. This is episode 22 on Tuesday, November the 11th, 2025. It is Veterans Day. Salute to all of the veterans, past, present, and future. Thank you for your service. This episode is called Get Here. Now, this is your first time listening. Once again, let me just explain. Every episode of Tired Tuesday Thoughts is correlated to a song. And then the entire episode main topic is centered around that song. This week's song is Get Here by Oleta Adams. Might gotta be, over 40 to know the song I'm talking about, but you'll still be able to get the message. All right. And every episode of Tired Tuesday Thoughts is sponsored by Author Tees. That is the graphic design line where all of the quotes are quotes from me. I guarantee one of the quotes authored by me will speak to you. This week's author T is I am content or I am content. It is a double entendre. I am content, like podcast curator, books, all that, right? I am also content in life. Because when you're content in life, no matter how high you go, no matter how low you go, you can always come back to the middle, which is content. And that is where I live. Because life be lifing. And, there are things that have happened in life that just are always going to be a thing. And I am, ironically, happy with being content. All right. So, I had an amazing weekend. I think I told you guys last week about, the opportunity I have to bring a live show to G-Ho's Bar and Lounge every first Friday of the month. This first Friday of the month was one of my favorite people. That is Life Be Lifin' podcast. Was celebrating 100th podcast episode, and allowed me to host the celebration. Because when you're around me, you can't. It's not. I don't allow you not to celebrate. I just don't. Now I was trying to do his 100th episode virtually, and I was actually on. I think it was episode 97. I said, nope, we're going to do something. Didn't know that he would be, the podcast that I would host for the first episode. For the first live show, but it was an honor. It worked out how it was supposed to. Shout out to Mr. Know-It-All and Hank. The two to my big three were in the building. But I'm going to go back to that a little later because it kind of ties into my topic this week about Get Here, right? And then Saturday I recorded an episode with Nah and Mr. Know-It-All for episode 216 of the Mr. Know-It-All podcast, which I am the curator and time to time fill in as a guest. Sunday, we had an amazing 50th birthday celebration for my first cousin / brother. We grew up in the same house. I watched what he watched, listened to what he listened to. And, we just have an unbreakable bond. It's like no matter how long I don't see him or talk to him, as soon as I do, we got our own inside jokes. We laughing. We reminiscing about when we were kids. So it was truly a blessing to be able to give him a celebration. Shout out to Volks Lounge. It's a private karaoke lounge in Philadelphia where you get a private room for a few hours, that you pay for. And it comes with bottles that equal the amount of the room. And, everybody orders their own food. We had decorations. We had a really good time. If you follow me on Instagram or on TikTok, just Taya. JUSTTYABRAND. Follow me on TikTok. You can see the video. All right. So, men November is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, aka Movember. This episode is dedicated to Movember. I can't say enough how important men's mental health is, but for some reason it continues to be taboo. It continues to be, overlooked by many. This is the month to make people aware of men's mental health, and I am joining in on that. As the Miss Know-It-All podcast is posting content for the month of November related to Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. One of the things that I talk about often lately is Black men joy. I love to see Black men smile. I love to be the reason why Black men smile. You know what I mean? Like I just said, everything I did this weekend, I made Black men smile. Now I celebrated his 100th episode. When we were doing the podcast, there were certain things that came up where, both gentlemen were smiling. My cousin's 50th birthday, he was smiling. When I went to the Last Dragon a few weeks ago, nothing but Black men joy, right? So Black men, whatever it is that bring you joy, find that. And don't let nobody tell you you don't deserve joy or all you're supposed to do is work and it's not about your happiness and blah, blah, blah. Any of that bullshit. Because I keep telling people, men are the leaders of society. And if the leaders of society are not mentally intact, what you think happens to society? A lot of what we're seeing right now. So it is very imperative that men keep their mental health intact. All right, so let's talk about what's going on in this crazy world before I get to my topic. R.I.P. to Marshawn Kneeland. That is the player from the Dallas Cowboys who tragically, it was reported he took his own life at 24 years old. Not a whole lot of details. There was something about a police chase and he crashed and texted his family goodbye and then, was self-inflicted gunshot wound. And it's, just prior, a couple of days before, he had got his first touchdown on the Dallas Cowboys. So you just wonder what was happening. Was he already struggling and couldn't tell anybody? Was it something that happened that day that just made it unbearable? I mean, we don't know, but this is why Movember is very important, right? It's very important that we're aware of everyone's mental health, but specifically in November, we're talking about men's mental health. And we're seeing quite a bit of, young male athletes who struggle with depression. A.J. Brown says that he had a bout with suicidal thoughts and he has the whole check on your teammates and, all these things. So I think it's very important that we use situations like this as a reminder of no matter if somebody's in the NFL, has money, sometimes the pressure of those things are too much for people. You just never know. We don't know why because you won't know why. If all he texted his family was goodbye and, actually didn't give a reason, then you won't know why. And then, that's why a lot of times in these situations, families are, of course, torn apart because their loved ones no longer here, but two, because you don't know why. And you'll never know why because a reason wasn't given in a lot of cases. I've dealt with that, with a family member passing away in that way as well. Similar, probably, I think, 22, maybe, 23. So very close in age to him. So, yeah, this is kind of, it's happening pretty often. It's happening pretty often. There's a lot of things out here that are having an effect on people's mental health. So prayers to Marshawn Kneeland's and family. Prayers to the Dallas Cowboys organization. Prayers to anyone who knew him, personally. All right, so Since we're, discussing a football player, I'll just continue on the football field. The Eagles are 7-2 again for the second year in a row, exactly to date. 7-2. The top of the NFC East. Go Birds, go Birds. Okay. So yesterday's game almost took me out of here. Baby. That last 2 seconds waiting for the ball to kick the field goal, I was sitting on my living room floor all the way at the TV like this. 2 seconds. Oh my God. That field goal ain't stand a chance. Didn't stand a chance, right? But I was pissed at Nick Sirianni at first because why would you go for it? You punt the ball and then allow our amazing defense to stop them from even getting to a field goal. You know what I'm saying? But he took a gamble. If dude made that field goal, we easily 6-3. But it was a really, to me, it was a great game. I love a rushing, close game. Sorry about that noise in the background. I love a rushing, close game. I love it. That game was lit. It was a defensive battle. It was like the defense was on the rap battle, smack. They was going smack. They were going at it. They were going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, nobody could score the whole first half. Not a single point. Then we finally got a field goal in the third quarter. And then we got a touchdown, right? And then Green Bay didn't get a touchdown till like the last 3 minutes of the fourth. And the score was 10-7. I loved it. Now, what I don't love is, once again, how do y'all watch a game like that and blame the quarterback? When the quarterback was responsible for the drive for the field goal, when the quarterback was responsible for the drive for the touchdown and threw the touchdown. Amazing touchdown at that. Amazing pass and catch. Shout out to Devonta. And y'all worry about the quarterback because, once again, he didn't throw the ball to AJ. Are y'all watching this game? Did y'all see this defense? Did y'all see how nobody on offense could score for 2.5 quarters? And y'all are focused on the quarterback, the only person responsible for the drives that led to the 10 points that we did get, and he's the problem. He has 183 passing yards in that game with no picks, never turned the ball over, as much pressure as he was getting. And y'all talking about, that's what y'all talking about? The amount of yards he got? The fact that he didn't give AJ the ball? It is a team game. That was a defensive game. That was not an offensive game. That is not the game for AJ to get the ball a whole bunch of times. That's not how that game was going. Sometimes the game doesn't go that way. The one thing you have to, of many, to give Jalen Hurts credit for is he's going to do what is necessary in that moment. A lot of y'all run your mouth, right? And say, oh, this person was open. Y'all not on the field. We can only see so much on TV. We can only see so much of the field on TV. You know what I'm saying? We can only see so much of the field on TV. But yet y'all always talking about, he was open. You can't even see him. And then he said, AJ out his mouth, that safety had me locked up pretty good. He said that he blocked so Saquon could get that pass, that amazing pass where he turned around, came back, which ultimately led to the touchdown. So y'all gotta chill. Like, yo, we want to talk because I am tired of this narrative. Ever since AJ Brown been here, it's this narrative. Oh, if he was on another team, blah blah blah. Hurts don't give him the ball. Him and Hurts not friends. This and this and that. Yo, y'all gotta chill. Y'all been carrying this narrative every year. I thought it would stop this year after we won the Super Bowl, but I see it didn't. Y'all see last year, oh, he reading a book on the sideline. He falling asleep on the sideline. This and this and that. He still got his stats for the season. And he won the Super Bowl. What are we talking about? Why is this a narrative every year? I think it's a narrative because y'all can't find anything else to say because we're winning. And it's pissing people off that we are finding a way to win no matter what. 7-2. What are we even talking about? Talk to me when we start losing. A lot. Y'all gotta realize we have no back-to-back home games. We have the toughest schedule in the NFL. Every team that plays us is out for blood. Every team wants to beat the champs. And Green Bay really wanted to beat us because Green Bay, I don't even remember the last time Green Bay beat us. But that's enough Eagles talk. I'm just saying, go Birds, 7-2. Leave my quarterback alone. He's him. He figures out a way to win. AJ is fine. AJ was not bitching about not getting the ball today because he knows it was a defensive game. Because guess what? He knows football and he was there. And the discussion was had. Y'all don't even know what these people talk. Y'all don't know what these players talk about. You don't know their relationship. You don't know anything. And shout out to Phillips that we got from Miami and Howie we trust because he balled out yesterday. Go Birds. Brian DeBall got fired. That was the head coach for the New York Giants. Praise the Lord. He was terrible. I'm sorry. He was terrible. I knew he was going to get fired when I witnessed him go in the medical tent to check on Jackson Dart during concussion protocol. Never, ever have I witnessed that from any coach in the NFL. Never. Never. So I knew he was going to get fired. I said in the comments on GNT, I said, the ball's out of here. He's gone. Also, prayers for Jackson Dart because he got hurt, may possibly have a concussion. But whoever the coach is the next week, take Russell Wilson out. Put Jameis Winston in. Russ is done. All right, Sixers, listen. Like I told y'all, lower y'all expectations for Embiid. Tonight, Joel Embiid is out of the game with knee soreness. And he didn't even play Sunday. He played Saturday. He didn't play Sunday because he doesn't play back-to-back. Now it's Tuesday, and he's out with knee soreness. I told people, the man is not going to be 100%. You're not going to get a lot out of him. I do recognize that it's not going to be easy to trade him because the value is not going to match up. I get it. But people have to realize. People say, oh, well, when the B don't play, the team doesn't win. That's because the team can't get a flow. If every other game, we got to change up because the person, no pun intended, that is the center of our team. Y'all like that? That one time, right? The center of our team is in and out of the lineup. We got to keep changing things up. And that can mess up the flow with people because you can't get anything consistent going. You know what I'm saying? You can't get anything consistent going. So, like I said, I love Joel Embiid, but if they get something for him next year, they might want to try to because, yeah. Klay Thompson got benched. And these fools out here blaming Megan Thee Stallion. Let's keep it real. Klay Thompson ain't been splashing as a splash brother for a minute. This is well before Megan Thee Stallion. And he says, don't blame her. I'm just in my prime or past my prime. Something to that effect. Yes, y'all. Why are y'all trying to blame her? What the hell does she have to do with him getting benched? Klay Thompson ain't been splashing as a splash brother for a minute, okay? Let's stop it. Let's really stop it. All right, so last week I said about kitchen cocktails. Excuse me. I said people should look at the menu before you go online. I want to correct that. The prices are not online. But as my girlfriend said, that's when you know it's expensive, when the prices aren't there. If the price is not next to the item, that means it's expensive. And that establishment wants you to find out when you get there. All right, it's not funny, but I'm just saying. Yeah, I just wanted to correct that because last week I said the menu was online. So now I see why people went there and, were surprised at the bill. Didn't know it was that expensive. Got y'all. That was my bad. But I still stand on everything else I said. They're allowed to charge what they want to. You just don't need to go. If you can't afford to go, I know I can't afford to go after some of them bills I saw. Not right now. I will eventually, but not right now. All right, keeping on Philly, Gilly and Cam. Let me tell y'all, I see people saying, oh, they beefing, this and this and that. They're not beefing. This is a content war. Because when one posts something and the other is like, oh, I love you, brother. Oh, that sounded like Hulk Hogan. But when one is in the comments like, I love you, brother, or laughing, you know what I mean? It's not beef. It's a content war. Both of them are racking up on views, likes, and everything with this content war between the two of them during football season. I must say, though, Cam is winning right now. That last one, after Gilly said that Cam Newton was 3-5-1 in 2014, that was hilarious. Cam Newton's response was hilarious. He found footage of Gilly from high school and said, was you always bald-headed? He brought up his fad case. He said his wife don't listen to his music. I was like, the boy, I was like, you know how high? He be like, Richard Roundtree, ran around the side, mother. And he's like, get him. That was me listening to Cam Newton. I got no dog in this fight, but it's funny. And I always enjoy, creative roasting. I do. I enjoy creative roasting. All right. At this point, I don't know what's going on with Snap. Are people getting snaps or not? I don't know. I heard Supreme Court pushed it back to the Circuit Court, and now the shutdown is done, but 47 got to sign it. Like, it's just all over the place. Are people getting their food stamps or not? Because people only going to be able to go so long, you know what I mean, before people get, antsy about not getting food stamps. But shout out to Sword from Country Cooking in Philly and everybody who pitched in with alternatives for food markets, donating to food banks, clothes, shelter, everything. Shout out to everybody who has contributed. Because like I said before, we all we got, right? So shout out to everybody, who pitched in the crisis. I see all y'all. And to those I don't see that are doing and just not, putting it out there. I don't have a problem either way, but shout out to y'all too. Now it's this thing about everybody going around saying we about to get $2,000 in November from 47. So I go to read it, and basically it's a tariff rebate, right? He put tariffs on, some things or whatever, and he's basically saying that as a result of him doing that, he could give $2,000 to each American without a high income. Don't know what that means, without a high income. Have no idea, but that's what he said, right? This is more like I told y'all so. Y'all had such an issue with the tariffs. Now I'm showing y'all how the tariffs were beneficial. Now I'm showing y'all why y'all should have left me alone when I was trying to do the tariffs. Why y'all should trust what I'm trying to do, right? So I want people to know, number one, this has not been rolled out. This is something he said. He still will have to get the okay and go through the like it's a lot of things that would occur and not just him giving out the money. You know what I mean? It's not like the stimulus. Like this is different. If he can even use this money for that. You know what I mean? We don't know. I mean, he does what he want to do, so possibly. But I just don't want people to bank on it because we're at a time where people really could use that $2,000. This is the other thing I want to say. All y'all, all money ain't good money. Oh, he got an agenda. $2,000 is $2,000. And it's coming from the government. I don't care who's in the White House. It's coming from the government. Because years ago, I got a stimulus from George Bush. And I ain't really care for George Bush. But I spent that $600. You telling me it go on your account, you going to return the sender because you don't like who it came from? I don't believe you need more people. If you're able to get it, you're going to accept it, and you're going to spend it right back into the economy, which is the point. All right. Reasonable doubt, baby. This week is the finale. And shout out to Reasonable Doubt who were picked up for season 4. Baby, do you know how much I love when our shows get picked up? Especially when it's a show that I watch. I am excited. Shout out to Reasonable Doubt for getting picked up for season 4. And shout out to everybody like myself who've been watching, which is why it's picked up for season 4. The writing this year, although I said it was dragging, it's still been really good because that's how it's been getting on my nerves because I have no idea who killed Wendy. Now this week, it appears that maybe it was Kristen because she's the one that killed the dog. And I am like crazy because, that's why it's good writing because this whole episode, I was like, damn, maybe he did kill Wendy because he has this disorder. He killed the dog. He did this and that. And then to find out in the end, it never was him. Now I'm like, damn, did he kill Wendy or not? Or did his sister do it and he covering up for her? He knows she did it. Or did she do it and try to frame him for it? You know what I mean? Because the sister is quite jealous. Bottom line. To kill his dog because you feel like he loved the dog more than you. Girl, you need help. You need help. So, I can't wait. And I want to know what the heck Eddie really is up to. And it's messed up that Eddie really did come back on Weird Time. Especially knowing that the mom had cancer and everything. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. So, shout out to Reasonable Doubt. I can't wait to see this week. We finally found out who killed Wendy. Finally. Can't wait. So there's going to be a different world that's coming out. Debbie Allen is behind it. Only person that I see that was recognizable is Shakina Arnold's daughter. This is a whole new cast of actors and actresses. I didn't really recognize any of them. But we could say the same for the original A Different World. That's where I know almost all of them from. The main characters. Except for Denise, which that's ironically my least favorite season. But I'm here for it. I don't have any expectations. I'm going to keep an open mind about it. A Different World is absolutely one of my favorite shows. But I'm happy that, a show of that caliber will be available for this generation. Because, people from my generation know how much influence A Different World had on my generation going to HBCU or going to college, period. Most people will tell you we went to HBCU because of A Different World. Now, Hillman's not a real school, but, it represents what an HBCU is. And it's a classic show that has lived on for years. I still watch it like I've never watched it before. So, it's definitely, I'm definitely here for it. I'm going to, approach it with an open mind and also remember that it's for this generation, not mine. Not really compare it to Not gonna do what I did with the house party with LeBron, because that was terrible. But I didn't. I really was like, how dare you remake one of my favorite movies, House Party 1, and do it this way? But, in Debbie Allen we trust. The Michael Jackson trailer has dropped. The movie comes out in 2026. Trailer is fire. I got a little choked up. Love Michael Jackson. Love my Virgo guy, Michael Jackson. But all y'all killjoys who are criticizing people who saying, people are going to dress up to go to see the movie. Then I just talked earlier about black men joy, but just joy, period. Why are some people such killjoys? Why would it bother you that people want to honor the legendary Michael Jackson by going to see his movie, by paying homage to him? Why would that bother you? Some of y'all need to look in the mirror and ask yourself, why do you care about things that have nothing to do with you? Like, is it going to take away from you seeing the movie because people are in the theater dressed like Michael Jackson? Because when they start playing that music, people are going to sing. People are going to dance. You might want to watch it at home because I'm telling you now, it's about to be like Wakanda. And we're about to be red leather jacket, gloves, Egyptian wear for Remember the Time. We about to be, we about to have afros for little Michael. You're going to see a lot of different Michaels because I'm going to be in there. I'm already thinking about what I'm going to get. Because soon as them tickets come out, I'm getting mine on reserve ASAP. I'm about to put it on alert for the pre-order. Because I'm going to be in the building with something that pays tribute to Michael Jackson. Y'all need to chill. It don't, come on. We dressing up. We dressing up. We dressing up. That's it. I forgot something. There was a street naming for LGBTQI, the voice of the youth. Rest in peace to him. Shout out to Philly for doing that. I'm very proud, that he will be honored in that way. He will not be forgotten. The voice of the youth will not be forgotten. Rest in peace to LGBTQI. Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Rihanna were spotted at the Boys Mind Tour. Shout out to that. That is love. Haven't heard about Brandy leaving the stage anymore. I'm sorry, that's still funny. But yeah, that was a good look for Beyonce, Rihanna, and Jay-Z to attend the Boys Mind Tour. Love it. Love, love, love. Love to see it. All right, y'all. Now it's time. Oh, I just read or saw a video or something of Caressa saying that her and Papoose are engaged now. Let me tell y'all, I am really rooting for Caressa and Papoose to make it, because I do not want Caressa to experience the heartbreak that will come if it didn't work out. She, my man, my baby, that could have been her song. Shout out to Caressa, just got an $8 million fight deal too. Blessings are upon you, sis. I wish you the best. I actually, like your energy and everything. Not crazy about your situation for my own personal reasons, but if it works out for you, I'm really wanting it to work out for you. I really am. I really am. I saw your movie. I know what you've been through. I really want to see you win. And despite anything else, you really are amazing at what you do and deserve it all. I just, hope that you stay focused and, continue success. And I really do want the situation to work out for you. Okay. Who knows if you'll ever see this, but I still wanted to say it. All right. So, my topic this week is the song Get Here by Oleta Adams, right? And in the song, she says, I don't care how you get here. Just get here when you can. Right? But in the song, she's like, You can reach, she's giving you all these ways that you can get here. You know what I mean? Well, as I always say, that is the song I chose this week, but my topic doesn't require somebody to, reach me by caravan and cross the desert. No. I'm talking about something a little different, right? Because here has a couple different meanings, right? First, I'll talk about where I am. Where I am in life is out of survival mode. I'm in a place of peace, right? And in this place of peace, it doesn't mean that nothing ever bothers me. It doesn't mean that I don't get sad. It doesn't mean that things don't hurt my feelings, right? What it means is that no matter what happens, I can always get here when I can. That's what that means. I can always get here. Here, in this room, is my place of peace. My place of peace is the here. I will do whatever I can to get back here. Always. I will cut conversations. I will limit my interactions with people. I will stay to myself. I will pray. I will go and vent to somebody. I do whatever I have to get here. So I guess maybe in a sense I am like a song. The song. I will cross the desert. If my peace is over there on the other side of the desert, I'm crossing the desert to get here, to get back here. Because baby, life is hard. I've lost people. I've experienced things. I continue to experience things, right? But I can always get back here because I've identified here, because I got here in the first place. And it took a lot to get here, right? So a lot of things I had to let go to get here. There's a lot of things I had to understand about myself to get here. What I tell y'all for 2 episodes in a row, self-awareness is the key to life. You have to know who you are. You have to know why you feel the way you feel. You have to know why you do the things you do. Those things are imperative to getting here. You can reach me by sailboat. You do whatever to get back to your place of peace. Because as long as you have that place of peace, as long as you know where it is, as long as you know how to find it, as long as you know how to get to it, you can always get here, no matter what happens. And that's why it says, get here when you can. Because sometimes there are a lot of things in your way, right? And it takes a little more to get back here. But you know where here is. You know how to get here, right? Because you've established this destination, so you know how to get here. It's like your home. You're going to figure out a way to get home. You know what I mean? GPS, MapQuest. Dating myself. GPS, Google. How do I get here? What do I need to take to get here? Right? Just like the song. You can take all these things. And it don't matter when you get here when you can. Because sometimes, things happen in life that really disturb our peace. And it's in our way of getting here. So then we have to move those things out the way. And figure out how to move those things out the way in order to get back here. Right? One thing I talked about earlier was joy. Joy and peace go hand in hand. When you have peace, you find ways to have joy. Now, last week I talked about, raising your inner child and kicking your inner child out, or he or she will show up in every relationship you have in your life, right? There's another side of that. You need to raise the parts of you as a child that directly have an effect on your peace. But there are parts of you as a child that will directly have a positive effect on maintaining your peace. It could be cartoons. It could be video games. It could be a movie you watched when you were younger. It could be going to an arcade. It could be going to Dave & Buster's, bowling. Whatever it is that allows you to not be an adult in a healthy way, find it. That is a part of peace too. Because those were times as a child when you had peace, when you were doing those things. And sometimes you have to tap into that in order to find your peace as an adult, in order to get here. Get here to this place of peace. Right? That's one part. Another part is you have to say yes to things that are good for you, and you have to say no to things that are not good for you. Now, I used to be the queen before I got here. I used to be the queen of self-sabotage. I was in my own way for so long. That's why I couldn't get here, because I was in my own way, right? I let what people say about me keep me from getting here. I let what people thought about me keep me from getting here. I let what I thought people were saying about me let me get here. I let what people, decided wasn't good for me let me get here. Oh, yeah, well, you talking about sports all the time. It's tomboy. It's not ladylike. Or you saying this and this on a podcast and, blah, blah, blah. There were people that were crushed the first time I gave up podcasting, right? These were people who consistently listened to my shows every week. When I gave it up, about 5 people were crushed, right? Then there were people who celebrated it. Oh, well, I think it's good because it... See, the 5 people that were crushed, one consistently listened because my content was enjoyed, right? Also, those people could hear the passion when I do a podcast, right? And knew it was something that I loved. And me giving it up just didn't make any sense, right? That was me being a sabotage. Oh, it's a lot of people doing this now who are doing better than me. And this is probably making me not desirable. And, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So I said I was retired and I stood on that, right? Until a couple years ago, shout out to Star, she was on Barcast podcast and she said, I want you to come do the podcast with me. And I'm like, nah. She said, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, right? And I'm like, okay. She said she's not asking me. She telling me I'm going to go. Something was like, I'm going to go. What can it hurt? I go and do an episode and I go back home. Still can be retired. Even retired people once in a while go get on the court here and there. You know what I mean? So I went and did the episode. And then that's when I met, Mr. Know-It-All. And afterwards, he's like, do you do podcasts? And I was like, nah, not anymore. I'm retired. He said, well, what do you do? And I said, I'm a social media manager because that's what I was doing for Cheers Philly at the time, right? And then Mr. Know-It-All was like, oh, well, would you be willing to do that for me? And the rest is history. Now I'm the curator of every episode and the social media manager. Now we're going to go to the next line, right? So as his social media manager, Wallow brought something to the city called PodCon, right? And that was a free conference in Philly with all podcasters were there. The lady who owns the Shade Room, Charlamagne the Guide, the content president of YouTube, were all there giving out game to podcasters, and Wallow was giving out game to podcasters, right? So originally, I wasn't going to go. I'm like, yo, I don't do podcasts no more. Why would I go to this, right? He's like, well, you still want to know the ins and outs, and I want you to hear some ideas and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go, right? It is the best decision, top 5 best decision I ever made in my life. If I had not went to PodCon, I would have not met Hank, who is the other part of the big 3. I would not have met Nah, who, as I said, I just did his 100th episode celebration. I would not have met Dana K. Already, of course, Stars, she's how this whole thing got rolling. I would not have met Sonny. I would not have, well, I knew Tone already, but, he was a part of us too. I would not have met Britt. I would have not met Bridget the Gag, a Quick 15 Network, Talk Heavy Podcast. I wouldn't have met any of these people. I wouldn't have done any of the things that I've done in the past year. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do something I always dreamed of doing, which was curating a live show. I've done 3, going on the 4th on November 29th. All because I was going to say no. My life changed. My life has changed dramatically since I said yes to that one thing. It has contributed to me getting here, to my place of peace, because now I have the opportunity that I'm not only going on podcasts. I started back this one, but I'm still behind the scenes like I wanted to be too. I'm behind the scenes and I'm not behind the scenes. I've done 3 live shows. One of them is on Roku TV in Dallas. It is the most viewed show. None of these things would not have happened if I had said no to something that changed my life. If I had said no to Star when she said, I'm not telling you, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. If I had said no to those things because I was in my own way, I would not be here. Here, as in a place of peace. Here, as in, 1/3 of the big 3 of Podcast Link Philly. 1/3 of Main Character Energy podcast coming soon. Taya's Tuesday Thoughts. Author Teas. My book coming soon. I wouldn't have done any of these things if I wasn't here. If I didn't realize I needed to get here. If I didn't get out of my own way. I couldn't have got here if I continue to be in my own way. That's how I got here. Right? And now that I'm here, I handle it very carefully. Because I said something today about support, right? And I'm one of them people, like, I am not at the place where I am begging, consistently asking for support. If you see what I'm doing and you want to support me, you are welcome, and I will say thank you for supporting me. But I will not depend on support. I will not beg for support, right? Because that is not peaceful. What happens when you ask people to support you or you expect people to support you and people don't? You're disappointed, right? Disappointing is not peace. There's no room for disappointment in a peaceful life. You don't get here by constantly putting yourself in a situation and be disappointed. And one of those ways is expectations of support of any kind. Doesn't matter what it is. I got a lot of support. I got a lot of people that support me because those people believe in my talent and are entertained by the things that I do. Or are moved by the things that I say and, as it adds to the quality of people's life. Those are the people I want to support me. I don't want anybody to support me and say, oh, let me support her so she won't feel no type of way. Let me support her because, she supported me. I don't need that kind of support. That is not going to help me in life. I need what I had with those 5 people who were crushed when I stopped podcasting, because those people tuned in every week, let me know they tuned in every week, discussed what I talked about, gave their opinion, they were invested. That's what I need. What I learned in life is a lot of people will only support you the first time out of obligation. I got people I don't know that's been to every show. Bridget the Gap has been to every show. I can't pronounce his name on Instagram, but it's like ABCDEF. Been to every show. Nikki has been to every show. My bestie Takia has been to 2 shows. Killer has been to 2 shows. You know what I mean? And I'm not knocking anybody at all. I'm just saying, those are people that, oh, I had a good time. The last one was good. They give me their feedback, etc., etc., etc. Because they're invested in me and, you know, what I'm doing, right? In my place of peace, I don't even bring up my business in certain conversations at all. Other people bring it up. Oh, what's going on with the podcast? Oh, you still doing your shirts? Other people bring it up. I don't bring it up. I have business boundaries. Boundaries are a huge part of peace. You don't have peace without boundaries. If me having certain conversations or telling certain people certain things about things I had going on or things that I did or things I want to do, and the response never left me feeling good. Oh, well, you can't do that because this person, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, authors don't make a lot of money. Or, you know what I mean? Any of those things. In the words of Jay-Z, don't tell me what I can't do. You can't do it. I can do whatever I say I'm going to do, which I have. I said I was going to write a book. I did that. Said I was going to do podcasts. I did that. I said I was going to be the behind the scenes on podcasts. I did that. I said I was going to do a live show. I did that. I did all these things, right? And I did it because I got here. I got to a place of peace. I got to a place where I know when to say no to something, and I know when to say yes to something, and I know who to be around, and I know who to talk to about what. You know what I mean? I'm single. I don't talk to everybody about me being single. Because a lot of people will try to push it back on you. Try to push it back on, maybe it's because you're doing this. Maybe it's because you podcast. Maybe it's because you watch sports. Maybe because you appear this way. No, the person for me is for me, as is. I don't care if I watch sports. I don't care if I do podcasts. Guess what? When I'm not doing these things, I'm loving. I'm considerate. I'm soft. I'm showing appreciation. I believe in black men's joy. I care about black men's mental health. I am a self-care advocate. Why do people overlook all those things just to simply go to the things that you believe is keeping me single? My person has not found me yet, to my knowledge. Maybe my person has, or I have found a person and, you know, it just ain't the right time. I don't know. I don't know what's in the cards for me, but I don't live like that anymore because in this place of peace, guess what? I say, listen, it's going to be what it's going to be. Some things are out of my control. All Taya can do is be tired. You don't realize, people don't realize how much, you know what I mean? And then people just get mad at how you're moving, not knowing that whatever boundary you set for a reason. My boundaries are me crossing the desert so I can get here. That's how I got here. I'm not involved in everything. I don't give my opinion in everything. I don't ask a whole bunch of questions to people because I honestly don't be wanting to know. And I'd rather you tell me what you want me to know than for me to ask you a whole bunch of questions. And the people will be like, well, what happened with such? I don't know. How you don't know? Don't you? I don't know because I did not ask. I am focused on my own life. If you need me, you can call me. You know what I mean? I'm going through a hormone, like I'm waking up every night, 444, like I drop an album. You know what I mean? I'm waking up like somebody poured water on me. I am trying to maintain my own peace. I am trying to stay here. And I do that by being creative. I do that by setting boundaries. I do that by only having certain conversations with certain people, only being around certain people, going places by myself when I don't feel like I want to be around anybody and not apologizing for it. Tapping into my inner child that allows me to feel that feeling I had as a child that felt good. That's how I stay here. That's how I maintain my peace. That's how I stop being queen of self-sabotage. But, the queen arose not too long ago, right? Because when you just go into situations saying no, or I don't want this, or I'm not going to do this, and I'm talking about that's not beneficial. For example, like if you meet a guy and be like, oh yeah, I don't want a relationship, I don't need a relationship, I'm not ready. Like, that's a form of self-sabotage, because deep down inside, you do want it, but it just may not look the way you want it to look, right? I always tell everybody it's going to take a very special person to be in a relationship with me. And it's not because I'm difficult or mean or anything, but it's just like I look for very specific things. I may not be saying this word right, sapiosexual, sapiosexual. I am attracted to intelligence. If you could teach me something and I can learn something from you, I'm like that girl in the 5 Heartbeats that starts squirming in her seat when Flash and JT was singing to her and dude got up and left. That is me when a man starts talking and starts teaching me something. That's number 1. Sense of humor is number 2. Number 3 is showing any interest in what I got going on. Podcasting, books, whatever. Showing any interest in what I got on is number 3. Number 1 is teach me something. Number 2, make me laugh. Number 3 is showing interest in anything that I got going on. But this ain't about that. What I'm saying is, I'm no longer the queen of self-sabotage. Self-awareness is the key to life. I would still be the queen of self-sabotage if I couldn't recognize what was causing me to sabotage to begin with. Sabotaging is not a part of peace. When you have peace, you don't sabotage anything that can add to your peace. You do say no to things that can take away from your peace, right? You do say no to things that don't allow you to get here. But it don't matter how you get here. Just get here where you can. I want to say to everybody, I want everybody to get here. If you know me in real life or you listen to this podcast, that is I use myself. Taya did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. That is my motto. I ain't come here to preach, but I'm the one with the reach. That's my other motto. You know what I'm saying? I've been through some things. I've been on this journey for a long time. But it don't matter how I got here. I got here when I could. See, a lot of people try to rush getting here, right? You try to, take shortcuts and you don't wind up here. The shortcuts is not going through the healing process. You're not going to get here without going through the healing process. So I don't care if you got to take a sailboat, a plane, a helicopter, cross the desert, any of those things. Get here when you can, because I promise you, you only have one life. You don't know how long you're going to be here. This is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, but this is for everybody. Find your peace. Find a way to get here. Find a way to get here. Here is peace. Here is peace. Say yes to what you know feels good. Take the time to think about it before you just jump and say no, because you're sabotaging yourself. Because you feel like you don't deserve it. You do deserve it. I don't care what you've done. If you've forgiven yourself, guess what? You deserve to have whatever is in your path to have. You are still here for a reason. Redemption is a real thing. And even if you don't get it from those around you, you give it to yourself. That is how you get here. I ain't perfect. I've done a lot of stuff. And I am not going to make excuses for any of the stuff I did. I will always say that I've never sat and said, you know what? I'm going to hurt somebody on purpose. I'm going to say that to hurt somebody on purpose. I'm going to do this to hurt somebody on purpose. There was always something underlying. That was before I got here. Now I am extremely mindful of what I say to people. I'm extremely mindful of, my actions. And yes, some of my actions to keep my place of peace may bother people, But if they were to bring it to me and we could have a conversation, I will let them know it doesn't have anything to do with you. This is just what I have to do to maintain my peace. When I go somewhere by myself, I'm not saying, oh, I don't want to be around you. I'm saying in this moment, I need to be around myself. I may not be feeling my best. You see me going via Bob. You see me go and do podcasts. You see me doing good shows. Y'all don't know that before some of them shows, I might have cried my eyes out or something. I might have laid in the bed to the last minute. I just did that this weekend. Sometimes that is how I get here. That is how I get back to my place of peace. So then when I do go around people, I am a vibe. I do anything absolutely necessary to get here. Just like the song. I don't care how you get here, but get here when you can. And she names all these extravagant things. Cross the desert. You know what I mean? Cross the desert. In my mind, I'm willing to cross the desert to get here. Because I know once I get here, everything going to be good. I'm going to be comfortable. That's what that means. So everywhere, the place I'm in right now, creatively, professionally, emotionally, mentally, physically, I did a lot to get here. And it doesn't mean that any of those things I just named are perfect. I'm not rich. I'm not 100% healthy. You know what I'm saying? I have my days mentally. I have my very few days emotionally because I'm way more logical than emotional. It just is what it is. And guess what? That's peaceful. Less expectations means no disappointment. Being able to accept people for who they are doesn't get your feelings hurt as much. Watching how people love and decide if you want to participate is a safe way to move. All of those things are a part of being here. And I will do whatever I have to get here. And I want whoever is watching this, listening to this, to do whatever you have to get here. Remove whatever you have to get here. Take whatever route you have to get here. I don't care how you get here. Just get here when you can. Because I promise you, you will not regret it. I promise you a better life. I promise you a more quality life. I promise you less bad days. I promise you being stronger to handle what life throws at you. I promise you when you get here, no matter what happens, you always know how to get back here. And it doesn't matter how you get here. Just get here when you can. All right, y'all. Went over an hour, but a very important subject. Listen, because I got here, I'm celebrating. Saturday, November 29th, Podcast Link Philly. Next Level is an interactive game night celebration. The Saturday after Thanksgiving, Saturday, November 29th, Extra Designs Event Studio. 1890 Woodhaven Road, Philadelphia, PA 19116. All black attire. Tickets are $30. It is BYOB. Champagne toast. We got a food vendor, Georgia Red. We got a dessert vendor, Quiche with the Cakes, aka Simply in the Shade Catering. Listen, it's going to be a vibe. We got DJ KDL. As usual, it's going to be a vibe. We're going to have an amazing time. Everything we do is a vibe. Every single thing we've ever done is a vibe. No matter if it's any kinks, no matter if it's anything, it's always been a vibe. People always express having a good time, and that's a part of being here too. You have a good time. You put yourself in position, champagne life. You put yourself in position to have happy moments as much as possible. That is a part of getting here. Okay? That is a part of getting here. That is the entire point. So, once again, this episode is sponsored by Alter Teas. This week's feature, Alter Tea, I Am Content or I Am Content. www.juggydezzinez.com, AUTHORTEES, AUTHORTEES on Instagram. I thank you guys for listening. Once again, happy Veteran Day to the vets. Wore my fatigue just for y'all. Have an amazing, amazing week. And I'll be back next Tuesday with a new song and a new message. Now, let me go to my pace of peace.